This gentleman's on the channel on Sundays for your soul. He's a pastor in Somerset, and I got to spend time with him. Somerset, right? Am I correct?
Somerset.
Somerset, New Jersey. What he has done, one person to transform an entire town, there's a blueprint there. But he didn't just stop there. My trip to Africa would not have been amazing if not for this man, because I didn't have a hotel to stay in. I didn't know where I was going. He hooked me up. Why? Because he's got business there. Let me welcome to the show. Oh my goodness. For your soul, Pastor, Reverend, Doctor, DeForest, Buster Soaries.
I'm here. I'm here.
Giving honor to God.
I've told the Twitter nation I'm here.
You told them that?
Yes, ma'am.
You're on the Twitters?
And I agree with you about the toxic nature of some of these politicos. It really, it undermines rational thought. It really does, because there's a hierarchical spirit there where it's my way or the highway. And if that were true, then we could worship a candidate, because that candidate is God. So there ought to be a little more humility in the political space.
I agree with that. I am fascinated, having come back from Accra, from Ghana, and we have Setri here as well, who's teaching me a Soaries right here in the studio. But you have a business there. So you're not just a pastor of a church. You are about financial literacy. You have a $1 billion challenge, which I'm going to have you back on the show to talk about extensively, sure, because we have a plan this year. I want to get $1 billion in assets at a bank, One United to be exact. So I want every one of our listeners to get a $1,000 CD for 1 year, just so we can have, because most Americans don't have $1,000 saved, which is crazy. So I want to lock that up so we can put money on in that bank that we can then utilize. But I also need people to get out of debt, which has been your mission for the last several years.
Right. But when it came to Africa, as a pastor, all of my life I've been around church work, and the concept of missions has been very inadequate in my mind. So Black Americans go to the diaspora, to Africa, to the Caribbean, and give out shoes or give a little money, and feel good and come home. And then the rest is all romantic, Pan-Africanism, ADOS, we have all of these slogans and hashtags. In the meantime, there is very little concrete, strategic, help right now kind of initiative. And so when I started going to Ghana, I decided I was not giving away free shoes. I was not giving away old clothes that I don't want anymore. I was going to work on an economic development strategy. And the strategy of choice had to do with building call centers that our companies, our people, our churches, our organizations could outsource work the way major corporations outsource to Philippines and to Ukraine
and to India,
and to China and to India. And so I found a group of young Ghanaians who speak great English, have great technical and organizational skills, and we started outsourcing work to them. So all of my foundation's back office work is done in Accra. All of my email, all of my database management, all of our infrastructure for digital marketing comes out of Ghana, and we employ dozens of young Ghanaians. My church is about to outsource data management to Ghana, and now that we've perfected the process and we have young people trained, they know we have a telephone system. If you call my office right now, probably a Ghanaian will answer the phone, and if the question exceeds what they've been trained to answer, they can seamlessly transfer the lines, because technology allows for digital communications that are undiscernible. And so I'm going to begin, and I'm announcing it here for the first time publicly. We're going to market all of these Black organizations that say we care about Africa, all of the HBCUs. If we would outsource, if just Black people in America, small businesses, churches, if we would outsource basic work to Africa, to Ghana, where they speak better English than we do in America, then we can do in Ghana for our own people what India and China and Philippines and others have done. I'm going to India the first week in March to look at Indian call center outsource operations, and I'm going to find one person in India who's willing to come with me to Ghana to teach our people even more than I can teach them.
Why do you do this? I mean, you're an incredible, to spend a day with you And we've talked before, and of course we've broken bread, and you're on this channel, and it's a beautiful blessing to have you inspire people every week. But you think about things like an engineer, like an architect, like a pyramid builder, like somebody that understands systems. It's incredible how you can have that and then put the pieces together. And I wish more of us thought that critically, which is why I think game playing is important in our homes. These kind of games that force us to strategize and think ahead and pause and learn patience. Where did this come from?
Well, early on, I was blessed to be able to distinguish between how and what. And what I learned was that we sometimes get so engaged in our how, our method, our style, our look, that it obscures our what, our goal and our outcomes. And so I decided that I would kind of flip the switch, and instead of building a process and hoping it got me where I want to go, I would decide where I want to go and then build the process backwards to where I am that charts the path on how to get there.
So you went to Ghana. When did you discern that a call center was something that was needed? I was like, how does that even pop up?
2019. It probably popped up one time when I called a bill collector who was chasing me for money, right. And the person on the other end couldn't speak English. I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about, even though I did. But at that point, I didn't want to know.
You didn't want to know.
But I went to Ghana first in 2007, and I was astounded at the infrastructure.
The lack of?
No, the technological infrastructure was far ahead of other developing countries. I was astounded at the ethics of the people. Yes. I was astounded how friendly people were. It was like being in South Carolina.
Right.
Everybody speaks to you. And I was astounded at the potential. And so, as you know, my choice was to partner not with the politicians or the preachers, but with the traditional indigenous leaders. And so I established a relationship with the Ochehene of the Eastern region, the person who occupies the stool, who has the moral authority and the moral capacity to really inspire and lead people, and controls resources, albeit undeveloped. And that was my strategy. His people were very articulate, very clear, again, very welcoming. They gave me the honor of installing me as an Nkoswahini.
Right. Sorry.
Nkoswahini. He's the Ochehene. Yeah. And they just embraced me. That's my new family.
I love it.
And that's when I got the vision.
Vision is everything, and it's amazing to me how many people don't have vision and can't see, and I don't know what that comes from. Is there a way to engender vision in people? How do you awaken that in folk? Because when I drive through Somerset and the area around your church, I don't even know how you were able to do what you did, but you had a clear vision of what could happen, and it's now visible.
Because, there's an old saying, there's nothing new under the sun. Whatever you can imagine, someone else has done it. Mm-hmm. And when I got to Somerset, what I did was put the leaders of my church on a bus, and I took them to Queens to see what Floyd Flake had done. I took them to Philadelphia to see what Herb Lusk had done. I took them to Newark to see what a white Catholic priest did after staying in Newark post-riots, Father Linder. And so the reality is, if anybody can do it somewhere, then we should be able to do it here. I don't understand why, for instance, people think of Africa in such negative terms. I mean, Shanghai was nothing but weeds 25 years ago. But with the investment and the vision and the willpower, Shanghai is what New York wants to be. Mm. So you have to travel. You got to go places and see things. You have to meet people, and they will help grow your thoughts into imagination, which becomes vision.
I just love. I could sit and I almost didn't make the show. I think I went during a weekday, got there early in the morning, and I didn't want to leave. Kareem Evans, you got to get to Somerset. I'm like, that's far. That's down there near Rutgers. I got to drive. 45.
When you're late. It's real far
I was
when
late.
You're late.
I was really late. Yeah, and but you were gracious in every way. But more importantly, I was inspired. The book that you gave me, he gave me a book on the way out, Black Fortunes. I now have made it part of our book list.
Is that not a book?
No, that book, everybody at my conference got a copy. I went to the publisher, called them. I was like, I need to buy,
Six black people born in slavery and died millionaires.
Yes.
And
so
if they could do that, then
come
what
on,
is our problem
that's my
today?
point. So everybody got the book. Our listeners are going to be reading it. I'm doing a book club, a live book club now as a result. But you gave me that book, and then I'm like, how did I not know about this book?
It's life changing.
Yes. So I just want to thank you on so many levels. Your show every Sunday morning, right here on Urban View. I'm so grateful you're part
7
of my
a.m.
Yes.
You moved me back an hour, so now more people, because people don't get up that
Don't
early
worry.
on Sunday.
Don't worry.
You moved me back an hour
Yes.
and put me on in the afternoon. I can't thank you enough. I thank you on every show, every time I record, and every time I speak on your microphone. I acknowledge your graciousness, your vision, your courage. I'm the only black preacher on Sirius anywhere. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
There's no other black preacher preaching on any Sirius station ever. You got Joel Osteen, but he's far from black. and
I don't know.
Those are facts.
Really?
This is the
Kanye's
only.
friends with
Those are facts.
This is the only show on the whole network. I'm the only Negro on preaching on satellite every Sunday.
I had no idea, but I'm here to put more Negroes in more places to do more things because
and I'm grateful.
You know,
and I take it seriously.
No, listen, we are not just all of us are doing things, but they only seem to show one sampling of us, and so it's good to have my man Setri here showing us how to play a Wari, this tech genius who's about to do some things. He's going back to build and do what you're doing in the tech space in Ghana.
Wonderful.
He's going back for 6 months, so I want y'all to hook up. That's why I brought you up here
yes.
too. Of course, Pastor Soaries always.